Yeah, peace out, guys. What's up? It's your boy Eru, host of the Diehard podcast. We got Diehard as a friend again. As you can see on the screen here, we got Hardwill from the For the Love of the Game podcast. It's a play on words there. I see for R, the love of the game. It's dope. We'll get into the concept and stuff on where that comes from and whatever, man. And I got him backstage. But before we start, we got to do it right. Turn the music off. Let's get the intro there. I can never find it. Where the hell is the damn thing? All right, Diehard intro. Let's get it. Yeah, man. Without further ado, let's bring him in here. This is Mr. Hardwill. What's good, my man? You got to get that mic. Put the mic on. There you go.
Myself, my bad. Salute. Thanks for having me, bro. You
No doubt,
already
man.
know.
It's hard. It's hard to get these podcasts together. You know what I'm saying? Get people together.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm gonna be fooling around with the name and stuff, that hard stuff, man. So when I think about it, Hardwill, like the hard whatever. When I think about it, like automatically, especially like just watching you and stuff. I put this up here real quick. I think of this fucking guy here, man. When I think of you, when I see you talk, you ever seen this guy,
Nah,
David Goggins?
I think I seen him before, but I ain't really too familiar.
Yeah, man. Well, this guy he might be the hardest dude you ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? He has like this moniker here where he just I don't know, like he talks about it, right? He been through a lot of stuff. He was in the army and stuff like that. He gained a lot of weight, but he just devoted himself to fitness and to just becoming like the best person he can be, and then he just goes crazy. His main tagline is stay hard, which is kind of like a pause moment, man, but he's just on it like, stay hard all the time, just to, meaning like stay chiseled, stay in shape, keep your mind crisp and, stuff like that. Be righteous and things of that nature, man. When I kind of get the same vibe from you when you speak, man. So what do you think about
That's dope.
that?
That's dope. Well, Hardwill, it came from a clothing line that I had, right? Years ago. I started it as Hardwill clothing line, right?
Okay.
And when I moved to Jersey, I had got into training kids, and like clothing lines was kind of getting like saturated, like watered down. Everybody was getting a clothing line. So I was like, I'm gonna turn Hardwill into a basketball training company. You know what I'm saying? And so basically, like you can see the shirts, we still could do merch, but we basically train kids now from like the 5th grade, sometime a little younger, but high school kids. We got teams now. So that's really what Hardwill is all about. But the real meaning of Hardwill is my real name is William. And when I was young, my moms and my pops called me Diehard. Because my pops, I heard the story, like my pops is like a 5%er, you know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
He used to be like Diehard, like, so he gave me that name. And nobody really knew my name was William growing up. Because, when you're in the hood, you don't want people to know your real name. That probably saved me too, because everybody called me Diehard. So as I got older, I grew out of Diehard. And like now, people where I live at out here don't even know my name is Diehard. They just call me William.
Yeah.
And Hardwill is just the brand. And when I started being on the show, I just wanted to use Hardwill because, that's just like my brand and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just, wanted to keep using the name and just keep the whole thing going. You know what I mean? It's my trademark, my corporation. So it's dope.
It's almost like a birthright too from your pops. Like it's like your pops gave that to you. Like it's almost like a crown kind of.
Because my real birth name is William. And even though Diehard is not my middle name, everybody call me that since a baby. Like even in the street, they all call me Diehard.
Right.
So That's basically where Hardwill came from, and I put it together.
All right. So you live in New Jersey, man. So where you from?
Mhm.
What
I'm
what,
from
what part of New
Far
Jersey?
Rock. I'm
Far
from
Rockaway.
Far Rock, Queens. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
from
Okay.
Far Rock. I grew up in Far Rock. Um, not really all my life, most of my life.
Yeah.
Did a lot of great things out in Far Rock. Me and this other guy that I met, his name was Tadao. Shout out Tadao, if you ever hear this. Um, we did a clothing line called Leakwear back in the days.
Okay.
Leakwear, Leakwear. And it was back, man. I'm an OG, but it was something that we did growing up out of the rock. And that's one thing I always mention when I bring up my neighborhood. Some of the things that I did and that we started growing up. Far Rock America is another thing that I started. People may know about that. I managed Lord Superb. That was one of my best friends. He was down with the Woo.
Okay.
And
So Far Rock
growing up,
America was actually like a music. It was a record company.
yeah, everybody still shouted to this day. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy
Yeah.
because Stack Bundles, rest in peace. Chinks, rest in peace. But even the new rappers coming up, they'd be like Far Rock America. But back in the days, it was started for me and Lord Superb because he got signed to the American Cream team
Okay.
that was part of the Woo. It was Raekwon's group, right?
Yeah.
And we was like, yo, we're gonna get our own label, and it was called Far Rock America. So I
Okay.
don't like to only say I started it. Rest in peace, Lord Superb. I like to say we both started it out of
Okay.
respect.
So I mean that rings a lot of bells to me because I'm from East New York. So I mean Far Rockaway, East New York, you got to like go through East New York to get to Far Rockaway. So I
Hmm.
got family that lived out there too, cousins and stuff, and we used to always cross connect and stuff. So I mean Far Rock America and the Cream Team with Raekwon and stuff, all that stuff rings bells for stuff that because back in the days there was no internet, everything was just word of mouth, and you would just know
Hmm.
somebody that knows somebody, and people actually did stuff in the street that people would gravitate to rather than something like this, which is kind of like little
Hmm.
bit weird, a little bit, but this is the new age. This is the way things are.
Yeah, they won't know it if you don't tell it. That's why I like to tell stories because we was doing it before the internet. We
Yeah,
had cars, all like it was no pictures and like I mean we not to sound like a dinosaur, but I'm just saying that's how it
yeah,
was when I was real young. Like just
yeah,
saying when I was a teenager and we had cars and stuff, we didn't have all that. We had to get around without GPS and you know what I'm saying. So if you was known, somebody knew your name, you really had to be known. It was no watered down sun is lit. You know what I'm saying? Like no
yeah.
fake lit people. Like you had money back then, you really had money. But it's funny you say East New York, Eru, because I worked in Linden Plaza in East New
Okay.
York.
So I'm trying to say, I used to live right up down the block. I used to live on Lincoln.
Oh well, I used to sweep all around Linden Plaza. I know Lincoln. I know all of that. That was one of the jobs I had when I
Okay.
was young, growing up. Early job, Linden Plaza. Shout out to the Plaza. And you had to be thorough to work around there and even live in that area with all the
Yeah.
projects around it right there. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we was from Far Rock, so we used to be on our P's and Q's. But shout out over there because I met mad people. I know mad people over there in the East, man. And my man, Six is from Wyona. My
Okay.
man Six. I got people in the East because I used to live on Wyona between Blake and Dumont. Had a crib
Okay.
over there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to live between Blake and Dumont too, man. Right over there by well on the
See
Autumn. I used to live on Autumn between Blake
on
and Dumont.
Autumn.
That's my hood right there. One block
Okay.
off of Lincoln. So that part of East New York is I want to say a community based thing over there. Because I mean a little bit further to the left, you get into new lots and stuff. It's a little hectic over there. It was hectic
Hmm.
where we was too, because you got pink houses there, Linen Plaza and stuff like that. But in the little side blocks
Cypress.
in there, yeah, definitely,
The
man. The
side
little
blocks get busy though. Don't sleep.
yeah, I know all about it. You know what I'm saying? But
You know who I think you know, not to cut you off. You
yeah,
might know my man Pacino.
probably so. And
Oh,
everybody
you don't
got
know him
monikers
offhand?
too.
Oh no. Now I'm thinking because he's from the East and he used to
Yeah.
live over there. His little son, nephew name is Chato, but they lived over there, not too far from you. But if I don't say a name and you don't know it right offhand, and you probably
Well,
know them, but not because you know a lot of people too. I'm just saying.
well, there's guys there that I know their government name, but they go by some
Hmm.
other name that I
Hmm.
wouldn't readily identify. They're like, "Yo, you seen this guy?" Blah blah. I'm like, "Who the
Hmm.
fuck is that?" But like, "Yo,
Yeah, that's
you were
true.
just talking to him. I saw you." Like, "Oh, you're talking about like Steve?" I know him as Steve and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Word.
that's how it is in the hood. Even me, I was like the Puerto Rican dude with the basketball. And until people really cared to be like, "All right, now they call me E." They will call me E like that,
E.
but never like my full name or nothing like that. That's just the way things are, in the hood like
Hmm.
that.
So you ball?
Absolutely, man. Back in the days, man. But
That's what's
you know,
up.
I never played like, let's say, organized per se. Everything is in the street,
Hmm.
street stuff. I always
Nah,
played.
facts.
Yeah, Linden Plaza right there. They used to have the park. They had the park that was shot up. One of the backboards was shot up, but we still used to play there. Now
Hmm.
they done changed the park. It's a whole different thing now. They done built it up.
Going like to a Grant Ave
Yeah,
station. I think you're
yeah,
talking
towards
about.
Grand Avenue. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I
yeah,
know that area well,
yeah.
bro.
Good old
Yeah,
days and
that's
stuff. Yeah.
crazy. Good stories, man. Good stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's community based too. Like I was saying, so like our block, we used to go to Cypress to play ball. So the big story with that is that we was over there playing. So some dude was beating somebody, just like destroying them, but he wasn't talking shit or nothing. But the guy was getting offended by it. So he
Hmm.
said, "All right, I'll be back." So when people say stuff like that, you already know. So I was like, "Yo, we need to just get out and go back to the block or whatever." So everybody's, yeah, all right, whatever, E. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we get across the street, all you see is boom, boom, boom. Somebody got shot on the court and this, that, and the other.
Wow.
So I'm telling that story because the guys on the block, they didn't want us over there no more. The older
Hmm.
heads,
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
older OGs.
OGs. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want us over there no more. They said, listen,
Hmm.
man, stay from over there, stay on the block. This is what we're gonna do for y'all. So what they did is they actually built the court on the block. One of the guys was a
Mm.
welder. He freaking built the court with his bare hands. you know
OG
what I
shit. Keep y'all
Yeah,
safe. Yeah.
yeah, to
Nah,
keep us
that's real
safe, man.
shit.
Yeah,
That's how
so
dangerous it was. It still is now. Again,
yeah,
it's getting like that. They trying to like have tournaments to bring it back. Start trying to like, excuse me, introduce the kids to each other and stuff like that in New York. Try to
yeah,
seize a lot of tension, but it's hard, man. It's different. You know,
yeah.
it's
But
rough.
listen, I was telling people that that we're like the gatekeepers to the Knicks. So we have our little
Hmm.
podcast, whatever. So
Yeah.
as we develop in our followers, now we're becoming like kind of like a gatekeeper. So when people see us, they're seeing what we represent and this, that, and the other. They gravitate to certain things. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like we almost have like a responsibility and stuff. So I'm just saying that just to add to this whole basketball street stuff or whatever. As we
Hmm.
get older, we got a responsibility to the youth to show them the right way, because a lot of the stuff, especially with music and stuff, there's a disconnect. Like I want to say that maybe like a 10-year span where, like, say like the early 2000s, whatever,
Hmm.
and there was a gap between about that time and like now, where there was no branches. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Guys were kind
Hmm.
of doing their thing, and then they forgot 10 years. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like our duty, just not just from the podcast stuff, but just as like OGs, like whatever, to do that.
Hmm.
So and I'm joking with you. It's hard, but it definitely is hard to do. Like you just said, it's hard
Yeah.
to do that. And I commend you for taking on that role with the kids and stuff, because it's not easy.
Hmm. Yeah. Nah, it's definitely not easy. The hardest part is to have to convince a kid, to want to learn. Nowadays it's rough. And like I said, I'm from New York, and sometimes I'll be sad to say it, but I teach kids in Jersey. I mean, I got some kids that I taught from New York that who family I know who I get with them and stuff like that. But I work in Jersey, and I think the kids that I train, not saying they better, because they not better talent wise, but they want to learn.
Yeah,
That's the thing. And I think the difference is like as far as kids nowadays, when you said it was a gap,
yeah,
I think the internet kind of took over and made it took over like for the OGs. Cause like back in the days, like for example, back in the days when the OG said something, not saying that you had to be brainwashed or listen to everything one person said, but now it's just like so many sources of information and um dudes is, not even following protocol. It's a
yeah,
lot of stuff that go on now that don't go on that didn't go on back in the day. So it's fast, it's rapid. So I
yeah,
just look at it like you gotta just survive it. Um, you can't be like I'll be like, people tell me, oh, you're OG, like it ain't like that no more. I'll be like, cool, I'm good on computers. I could talk with the kids, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you can't say the world.
right,
Like it's no way you're gonna. So you got to understand. And that's why I gave you the example on how I work with kids in Jersey, because when you want to play ball, it can't be no, yo, you better go to school, yo, you better come to practice, because you ain't gonna make it. It's too many kids that's playing that
yeah,
want the scholarship. You know what I mean? So, like, when I teach, we have a program where we give kids scholarships to come to our program and get training. If they talented and they like family don't have money and stuff like that, we'll fund them to train. So if they make it somewhere, we're part of that process for helping them get there. But most of the kids, parents pay for us to train their kids and to be a part of the program. The difference what I do is I get free kicks, free Hardwill gear, and I don't charge what AAU teams charge because we're not leaving the state. We just go on to tournaments in town or the next state, like not too far rather from the town, next town over, like, in Jersey, but big, you know, AAU circuits that's not going when you got to stay in the hotel. So it's a little cheaper, basically. And that's what I do with the kids, you know what I'm saying? And as far as with the Knick community, man, I've been a Knick fan since a kid. And I survived the Jordan era, still stayed a Knick fan, you know. Been through it all, still been a Knick fan. Only thing with me, if I survived all of that, I'm not gonna be overrating players. I'm not gonna be, you know, like how some Knick fans do. They overvalue players that ain't really what they think they are, you know. But
Yeah,
to the
they
point
talking
on,
about what they're going to be rather than what's
yeah,
actually happening right now. Which is
and
like
it's bad. And the problem with that is we've been through that too long. And we're
right,
gonna get into that. I just want to say something else before I forget. With the podcast, um, I started with, I told you last time when we talked on the new media show, I started with a show called Bars and Hoops. When I first started doing podcasts,
right.
it was a Knicks Nation radio show that, shout out to my boy D. He started that show, and I was a co-host on that show, right? And L had called me. Shout out to Worldwide L. L had called me one day and was like, "Yo, Hard, I want you to come on this show." Now, remind you, me and Worldwide L live in the same projects in the 40s in Queens, right? His building is right here. My building is right here. I live in the blue building. He lived in the green building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he called me, "Yo, Hard, I want you to come on the show." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Cool. I'm gonna pull up. Like, I'm with it." So cool. I started going on the show. Ever since then, it's been history. And like I said, I've been a Knick fan. I enjoy creating content now. Like we had a show last night about did the Knicks ever have a superstar?
Yeah, I peeped that. I was looking at
That's
that.
crazy to me because when I look at the names, it's like, and then people fighting over Patrick Ewing. And I'm like, cool, Patrick got it, but we talking about one guy over and over.
Yeah, there's this one. Where is it at? It's
Is it it
which
might be the last one.
well, it's right here, the top one right here.
Yeah, it's the last one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just dropped that. It was just like cause think about that, man. Who was a superstar in all of those guys? And I think that, like what you said, we responsible for Nick content, and I'm trying to do the best I can, not to troll or clickbait you, bring you to our show and have a great conversation. And what we offer is you could join the panel
right.
and talk your stuff, and don't be intimidated. You know what I'm saying? If you are, then you ain't ready for the panel. Chill in the chat until you're ready for the panel. Because there's dudes in here that's coming, but it's fun, man. I love it, man. I love it, man. I
Like
love it.
Ralph. You saw Ralph. Ralph was like, "Yeah, I just want to get into the channel. I just want to I want to annihilate dudes, bro. His energy and stuff." I was like,
My
"Damn,
boy
son,
Ralph, shout out Ralph. He was on that caffeine.
the hell yeah, man.
I'm more
He's
calm.
ready. He's ready to bite ears off of cats, like Mike
Yeah.
Tyson, like you guys got in the intro there. You know what I'm saying? Some people fan different, man. They want to
Mhm.
talk with us. Some people like to be in the mix. Like before the
Mhm.
internet, like where was the place where we used to talk the most stuff?
The
Like
barbershop
barbershops. Yeah,
or the
right.
lobby, like they call our shop, aka the barbershop. Our show, or we be in
Right.
the lobby. I remember we used to be in the lobby banging on the windows,
Yeah.
rhyming, talking sports, cracking on each other. That's what we grew up.
Yeah. And dangerous. You talking about the lobby? You talking about vestibules, project vestibules, and shit like that, right? That was
Exactly.
the backdrop of the conversations and stuff. So now like guys get we was talking about it offline. Guys get so serious about takes and stuff, but
Mhm.
if you sit and think about it, like we're talking about history and bridging the gap and stuff like that. We're talking about guys that only go back about 10 years, and 10 years
Mhm.
back they was like 12, 12 or
That's not
15.
enough information. I don't want to disrespect nobody, but I don't know
Yeah,
if it's enough information there. But that's a lot of intelligent guys though coming up. I ain't going
yeah,
front that be young. So I kind of I try to show them love because, you know, like I said, me and you talked about it. You know, people how like not saying how I used to be, but I'm trying to be a person that gotta accept people for who they are. I
Yeah,
can't disagree with everything because I don't got time to address everything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just that passionate. You know what I'm saying, Eru?
yeah.
It ain't my fault I'm passionate, and I'll go to war with you for nothing over a take. But at the same time, I'm gonna laugh about it at the end. I'm not losing no sleep over it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, that's all.
Some people do. So, like, I'm one of those guys. I used to have a big temper when I was younger, and I used to just pop
Mhm.
off. Sometimes you be popping off, man, and you be standing on the island by yourself, and everybody looking at you. But you don't see that because you're so into the moment. Sometimes people like it comes with experience. Like I was young at that time. I'm talking about like teenagers to early 20s. You got to go through stuff. You got to have some kind of experience in order to know how to deal with other people, know how to deal with other men, know how to
Mhm.
deal with
Mhm.
women, all that stuff, to deal with
All
just
that.
people in general. Yeah. So
Mhm.
you definitely did.
It's a
There's a lot of,
business.
yeah. Some
It's a
people
business.
like young people, they like sometimes they feel like they've been here before because you just
Mhm.
like already connect with them and they so young. You want to learn, what they've been through, but it's just that they just have a level of clarity. You can conversate with them and build. So I think
Mhm.
that's what's missing about the whole thing, the build part.
Mhm. I think because now, like we said, with the internet, it's so many different ways to communicate.
Yeah.
It could be overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I try to create some content where we could talk about it. Um, it's hard to really create a lot of content when, even though I ain't gonna front, this off season for the Knicks was kind of lit. Because I
Yeah.
was saying the other day that like I don't remember a time where, and I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, where this much was going on at the same time. And I think we got to be grateful for that because that does mean some things are happening. And I may talk junk about Leon Rose and troll with the thumbnails, but when I give my takes, I'm passionate and I'm serious about my takes. I won't disrespect nobody, but if I say it, I mean it. And that's it. Somebody got to say some of the stuff that I say. And I don't think that I say anything too crazy. Like, um, you know, people give him a B and an A, and even after he did the move he did today, that was like, yo, RJ was supposed to get his money, bro. Like, it was nobody signed since Charlie Ward, bro. Like, how many years is that? And then
Yeah.
Charlie Ward is nowhere near him. So when you have people that be bashing RJ and talk, I be like, bro, look at his numbers, bro. You a fan of a player on another team that went through the same struggles as this man, but you ain't see it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
you want to dog your own dog on your team, young dog, right? But no, we haven't had a player like that in how long? When I ask them who, they say Porzingis or nobody, or they get quiet. So that means have some respect for him. I don't say you gotta love him, but just know like numbers don't lie. Feel me? I always say this, Eru. If I'm not there to see the game and I see the numbers don't really tell the game. But if you're going back years of numbers, he put those numbers up. And when you say, oh, but RJ shot poorly and blah, 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 when you look at other guys' numbers and you don't know how they shot, you just give him credit for his numbers. You know what I mean? And
Right.
what else they don't do, they don't take blame and say why they didn't put him in better position to give us that 20 points
Right.
where he was going straight. It was no plays to get him buckets easy. And that's why when people down him, I say, watch how easy it is this year with a point guard. And now they're going to actually give him plays that put him in the best position because they see how he had to get it out the mud. But people that don't know the game be like, oh, he this. I'm like, yo, bro, look at the whole situation. It's not making excuses because at the end of the day, it is what it is, bro. You could judge it how you want. I'm just giving from my view.
Right. That's why I like your guys' show. You and Worldwide L is that you guys have the conversation, and sometimes it could get hectic, whatever. But at least you guys are speaking in such a way where you guys can do this. You guys can make the connection and whatever. Have your arguments, have the strong points, but still make the connections where whatever. A lot of when things get out of hand is when guys they just have a blunt take and that's it. And then like if
Mm-hmm,
somebody else is just like them, they got a blunt take too. And now you
mm-hmm,
just like, now you just backed in the corner with a bunch of guys that don't really know the game. They just looking for shock
mm-hmm,
value. They're trying to get clout and that type of thing. And now you
mm-hmm,
caught up in the mix and like, I'm not about this stuff. I'm just trying to talk Knicks, but now I'm caught in a situation where like this is like the show now. Now this is a show. This is not
mm-hmm,
a conversation. This is like a show now.
mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, nah, it's a fact because it's like sparring kind of, and
Yeah.
I think anybody could make a mistake and say the wrong thing. So when you in that type of environment, You just got to make sure you putting out right information. Sometimes I could get caught up into trying to make my point, but I ain't gonna lie. I've learned that it's easy to just say you wrong and let it go. And I try to give people this type of game, but they don't take it. It's easy to say, "Oh, my bad." And if you watch me sometime, I might say that because I host shows and I be on shows. So I'm gonna have to be like, "Oh, my bad." I slipped that in. I was wrong. I said something like I think I said on my show last time that Vince Carter played in the record before Kobe. And somebody came in and said, Hardwill, no, he didn't. And I just said, "Oh, my bad." I wasn't gonna sit there and try to, he knows something, he remembers something that I don't. But somebody else would have tried to fight that. Yo, yes, he did, blah, blah, but they don't even remember. See,
Right.
I'm not doing that. I done got so many takes that I feel like I did a good job on. I'm okay to get something wrong. And that's what people don't understand. But some people wait in the cut to try to prove you wrong. And that's why when I say players, right? For I give you an example, when I see players talking about RJ and all that, I screenshot people because they got to keep the energy. Because when he come out here and he show out, I'm gonna talk about you because you was bashing the man or whoever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like even if Randall come out and play the way I say I don't think he gonna play, then you have a right to say, "Hardwill, you was wrong about him." Give him his props, and I'll be like, "Cool, I slept him." That's my point, Eru. Like,
Yeah.
and I think when we had this conversation, we learning even building with each other. If we wrong, we'll admit it because we right most of the time because we trying to learn this game and put out good information, or don't say it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could talk about other stuff. Like we've been talking about other stuff besides the Knicks for about 30, 20 minutes at least of the show.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
Yeah.
we could talk about Knicks. We could talk about New York. We could talk about wherever. So
Well, you gave me a lot too, man. You gave me some music. You gave me some fashion. You gave me some
mhm,
basketball. You gave me some other stuff too. So I mean, what started first? There's a lot of passions there. You're talking about, like I said, fashion,
mhm,
basketball,
mhm.
music and that type of thing. So what happened first with you?
Well, first it was basketball for me
Right.
growing up. And I ain't really mentioned that, but I grew up playing in New York City too. Played for Riverside, Brooklyn, Queens. Played for Riverside. Played for Sky Riders. Um, then I went to JUCO in San Diego.
Okay.
Um, called Southwestern. Played ball there. Um, came back, had my first son, and I started working in Linden Plaza, like I mentioned.
Okay.
And from there, I met this dude named Tadal. His name was Kyle, but they call him Tadal. He worked there. He was from Far Rock, so we started holding each other down. And he had an idea, start a clothing line called Leakwear.
Right.
And he was like, "Yo, Jahar, you want to be down with it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I started investing, and clothing line did pretty well. We had Eminem and them rocking Leakwear before the internet. Dre, we was up in the Up and Smoke tour. Um, but it was like, you know, you could do a lot of stuff, but that don't really mean you're gonna be rich or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you learn in the game. And that's why I think I know so much now, because I've been through so much. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So sometimes when you don't get a lot of money or stuff, you get a lot of knowledge, you get a lot of connections, and then it kind of make you who you are. And that's why I tell my story sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like when I get an opportunity like this, at least when you asking me and I have to tell it, and that's really how it went. I tell it exactly how it went. And from Leakware, like I said, we had Leakware, and I was doing my thing. I tell you a story. I told this on For the Love of the Game. I was in the Mustang convertible, GT, black, because we was doing our thing with Leakware. And I saw my man Lord Superb walking in Far Rock with the fur coat on, with the tarantula chain. Remember Raekwon had the tarantula?
Yeah.
You remember the tarantula, the spider looking chain that Raekwon the chef had? So my man
Yeah.
Perb had it on. I'm driving. I'm like, "Yo, what you doing walking out here in the back street?" Because he was from Edgemere, though. That's 54th Street. So I'm like, "Yo, what you doing walking past back here like this with all this jewelry on in the fur coat?" He got in, and we had grew up together in like daycare, first, second grade, young, knew each other from Hamels Projects, and we was real little. So we always knew each other. And I was young with a car. He didn't drive, and the rest was history. I started working for the Woo for like 6 years after that. That was what I was doing. And it was like the leakware stuff. They was kind of like getting mad because I was working with the Woo and doing the leakware, but that's what I was doing. And that's really my story. And then after that, like years later, years down the line, I wanted to, start working with kids and get into this podcasting thing. That's basically my whole story in a
Yeah.
nutshell. How did I get into music? How did I get into the clothes? And people that hear it know some of this stuff. So it's cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to Power. Shout out to Ghost. I used to be in the studio with all them dudes too. When Purr was on Supreme Clientele, that's Ghost's only platinum album. He's on a few songs. He said what he said. He said no ratchets. He said like Arthur Ashe, no ratchets, no practice. Shout out Lord Super, rest in peace. Yeah,
Yeah. No doubt. No
but I
doubt.
got some stories, man. Yeah,
I know
man.
it seems like you're a Renaissance man. That's why I'm trying to get those stories out and stuff, man. So where does the Knicks fit in all this, man? Because I mean, being a Knicks fan is a full time job within itself, man. So when do you find time for that development?
Well, some of the stuff I talked about, I don't really do. So I don't do music no more. I still
Mm.
know the game. I still try to give advice to people that I know that ask me. Now all I really do, I work with the kids, I coach, and I love covering my Knicks. You know, I took that job because I wanted to tell my story sometime about some of the stuff I did. I got other stories I could talk about too, like about my pops. You know, so that's what really made me want to like get into a podcast and talk about the Knicks. I didn't know I was going to be in the show only talking about the Knicks, but I've been a Knicks fan since a kid. And for me, never to go and join another team and still be with the Knicks and us still be kind of like not good, not good, but we getting there. But I had to talk about it, because I'm passionate about it. So,
Yeah.
and like I tell people when I give them advice, when you take on a side hustle, make sure you love it.
Right.
Don't take on a side hustle that you're not gonna really love because you ain't gonna get up to go sign on to do nothing that you don't love. Like today when I came home, if I ain't love this, I wouldn't do it. But I
Yeah.
love talking about ball. I love talking about the Knicks. So it go
Yeah. I
hand
like
in
I like
hand
to
with
hear people
hustle.
talk, man. Yeah.
Oh, and
I like
shout
to,
out to the Morning Brew, my guy Heck.
yeah.
Salute, doing his
X said
thing. Make sure
X
y'all
said you guys were
subscribe.
on the show together too with the for our
Yeah.
brother.
Heck, man, I got love for Heck. He was with us. He went to that show doing with the dungeon guys and Porto, Digger Man Porto, and them. Shout out to all those guys over there. Genuine love. I learned a lot from Heck.
Yeah.
Heck learned a lot from me. Me and Heck used to be on the phone for hours, working, talking. Heck no, I'm a workaholic and I get things done. And that's another thing that I learned from doing all those companies and um, working and being in Cali at the Vegas at the Magic or being on the road. So I know how to run companies and doing like, come on, like L no, let's go, bro. And we gonna run. Oh, that's another thing I want to say before I forget. How you and State argue and go to war like that. That's the same thing me and Worldwide L do. And when we go backstage, it's like,
I don't know if you got messed up or I got messed up.
I'm here. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am
Yep.
I here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, man, that's basically, how it is with me and L too, man. Like y'all remind me of me and L when I see you in state and I be
But the,
laughing.
the thing with me and State is that me and State don't know each other for nothing. We met each other on the internet.
I
Like
know,
he had his I
I
think
know.
we started we was doing audio podcasts. We started it like about the same time. So then
Hmm.
we just hit we both hit each other up at the same time on the humble. Just was like, yo, you want to do something together? All right, cool. So we did one pod. Next thing you know, we doing a pod almost every day. Just going back
Wow.
and forth with each other and stuff like that. So it's an interesting thing, man. Just
Hmm.
like this stuff, just interacting with people that you don't know, and that you just have that common thing that you can get up with each other as if you know each other the way that you and Worldwide L, because you guys actually lived in the same building, like you said, in Queens, whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's my
me
childhood
and State,
friend.
I feel like State is yeah, I feel like State is like say like my girl's like little brother, something like that. That's what the
Hmm.
vibe that I get with State. We just got that connection kind of thing, which is dope, man. So I appreciate him a lot.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
that's dope. You can't find people like that. So
yeah,
you gotta value that, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like even me, it ain't easy to get along with everybody. And I
yeah,
don't think just because me and L knew each other, I mean that helps. But You know what I mean? I just know L know me kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And we was friends growing up. Like I used to be in his cabinets, in his crib. L always been the same way that he is now. You know what I'm saying? He always been mad cool. And that's why I said, like, I always been cool. But like I said, I have to learn how to, like, everything ain't a competition.
yeah,
You ain't gotta compete with everybody, or you ain't gotta crush everybody. Plus, I'm older now, so I show more love, than I ever did. And it's like, especially with the pod, if I disagree with you today, that don't mean tomorrow we ain't cool. That's how I be wanting to keep it with people in the chat, people that come on the panel. Just know that if I don't agree with you, say, and I tell you and we don't agree, that don't mean tomorrow when I see you, you are op. That don't
yeah.
mean that.
Yo,
That's what y'all be thinking, man. Stop it.
yeah,
Like my day don't revolve around the tape. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, like, that's it. I just wanted to say that too. I know you
Well,
go through that, bro.
well, were you watching the day when I kicked State off the pod? I cursed them out and I kicked them off. Were you watching that day?
I saw it before.
Yeah.
It
Well,
happened more than once, right?
well, not to that degree. When I just straight kicked them off
Oh,
the thing, I kicked them off and ended the pod like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
I think I saw that one. I didn't know. I
okay,
was like, yo, it happens like that though
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Me and L be having fights like that. We don't end the show. We just have to sit through that shit.
But yeah, that show was one of them things
Oh,
where
it's
where
hard.
it was like we were sitting in a shitty diaper, we just couldn't sit there no more. So I just like boop
Yeah.
out of here. So as soon as we ended the show, don't you know, State hit me up, yo, we gonna do a part tomorrow, like whatever. So it's
Yeah.
like you can go through that and still move on and still get to where you need to go. You know,
That's
what
why I
that got
love
to do
y'all
with
together,
anything
bro.
really, right?
That's what makes it dope because like what we get from our chat or people, they laughing at just how hard he arguing that with me or how hard I'm arguing with him. And that's like passionate real live TV. No
Yeah,
soap opera. That's not premeditated. That's not no scripted nothing. That's
right.
all. I don't agree with you, and that's why I said we come from that hood, that vestibule, that lobby. But this is where we come from, bro. And I think this is why we have a good chance to do what we're doing. Because if we don't have that type of drive, it's not gonna be there. This is not easy. Like you said, you got kids. You know what I'm saying? We got jobs. It ain't easy to do what we do. And we doing shows for y'all.
Yeah,
Even him bringing me on here, this is for y'all. This is for the people, his subscribers. And please hit the subscribe button. Please get the likes up.
do
We're gonna
something.
go subscribe to For the Love of the Game. Number 4 first. We going on next. If you're gonna pull up there, we going on, I think around 8 or 8:30, whatever, when I'm finished. If you want to pull up, you welcome. We can get to talk about RJ yet. So we're gonna have an open panel discussion. Everybody's welcome. But yeah, man, please make sure if I posted this on my Twitter. If you ain't subscribed, if you coming from through my end, please subscribe. This is fire content over here. I be training kids. I be having my pods in listening. And that's another thing I want to say. Sometime I be in still Knicks fans. I be in all y'all shows chat sometime, and I don't be saying nothing in the chat all the time because if I'm training, I just could listen and I can't really interact with the chat all the time.
Yeah,
But I love the chat. I love most of the people that I meet on here. People's mad cool. Jay Boogie pulled up to my crib, opened my door for him. Like, I never really been like that before. So I'm
yeah.
saying, like, I'm
Well, talk about
excited
that
to
because
meet you.
I saw that. I saw you guys had that little thing. Do you know Jay Boogie outside of this?
Nah,
Look at
nah.
that.
See what happened was me and L is like family. Like I said, I explained that. So L and J Boogie already did things and traveled to games and stuff more than
Okay.
once. And I was in Atlanta one day, but my nephew, my nephew Stephon Castle. Shout out Stephon. My nephew Stephon Castle. I was out there at his games and I couldn't catch the Hawk game that I was supposed to go to with J Boogie and Worldwide L.
Okay.
So they close, and on the strength of that, I trust you. And not saying I didn't trust him on my own though, honestly, because I'm such an OG. I could tell who I could trust. You know what I mean? Like it's just like kind of like with you or Ron, still Knicks, or just certain people I get a vibe from. And if I see you or you in my hood, I'm like, yo, come on, let's come through, come to the crib, we can have a couple drinks, throw something on the grill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That.
That's how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got the pool right here in my crib. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
just he was in town handling some business, and on his way back to North Carolina, he said, I'm stopping to see Hardwill. You know what I'm saying? Then got mad gear from me, like show mad love. We both show mad love. So, you know, I'm glad you asked that question because that's just a great way to show how, you know, people is connecting from what we doing.
Yeah.
Like Pudge said, interacting TV from the chat. Like people gonna feel like they know you. I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. I was at an AAU game in Pennsylvania, and shout out to my guy. I don't want to forget his name. Yeah, I'm gonna think his name before I go. He said, "Yo, Hardwill." He shouted my name from over there, like this to me, and I'm like, I think he talking about from the team, something about my team.
Mhm.
So he like for the love of the game. So I'm like, oh, she talking about from the podcast. So he like, come in. So he want to take a picture. He like, yo, I'm a
Damn.
fan. I'm a fan of your show. So nasty, my guy, so nasty from Twitter. Yo, if you listening, bro, I salute you, bro. Cause look, I'm just telling the story because I respect that you were G'd enough to let me know you rock with us like that, and I appreciate you. I took a picture with him, everything, Eru. But that was a moment for me because I never ran into nobody in the street yet that know me from doing this. And I
Right.
take pride in what I do. I love what I do. I love talking to the people. So when he was like, yo, you one of my favorite podcasts, bro. I was like, I was telling my player, one of my players, yo, you heard what he said, right? You heard what he said about your coach, right? So it was a moment, man. It was a moment for me, man. Like, you know, I'm sure you get those, man. You in the
Yeah.
city. I'm sure people run up on you, man. Come on,
Well,
man. You got all
I
those
got two
subscribers already.
random stories. Yeah, I don't know if you want to hear
Mhm.
those.
I do,
I
I do, I do,
well, I
I
mean,
do.
I said it before in the pod too, man. The one time I went to Walmart, I
Hmm.
went to Walmart. I had on a different Diehard Knicks hat, but I had that Diehard Knicks hat. I just so
Hmm.
happened to have on another shirt too that matched or whatever.
Hmm.
So I just like you got your gear. I wear my gear all the time. I don't wear regular clothes. I'd be wearing
Hmm.
Diehard Knicks shirts. Anyway, I'm
Facts.
in there shopping with my wife and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So we come over, we're finishing shit. So as I'm walking towards the security, whatever security starts talking to me about the
Hmm.
Knicks. I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at him, let him talk. He's just ranting about the Knicks and this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, well, it's funny because I got a podcast, and he's like, yeah, I know you got a podcast. That's why I'm talking to you like that. Like, he said, you Eru, I see you on nothing but Knicks and this, that, and the other. But he didn't introduce himself. He didn't say nothing to me about anything. He just started blasting about the Knicks, and I'm just looking at him like, oh shit. And then he busted out, yeah, you Eru, blah blah, from nothing,
That's
nothing but
dope.
Knicks. I saw you on that shit, like that. I mean,
That's dope.
that it kind of like take you when that shit happens, it takes you away, right?
That's fire, bro. I got one. I got another one, and this happened right after the first one.
Yeah,
My girl's cousin boyfriend came to the house, and I'm showing them my podcast, what I do. So I'm like, yeah, we was just on one because he said, yeah, I watch nothing but Knicks. So I said, yeah, we just did one called New Media. Me, Eru, Steph, Sim, Crow. I mean Crow. He like
yeah,
Tony Crow. And he's like, I saw that. I'm like, I'm saying? So it's funny when people be around you or they watching the same content. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And shout out Nothing But Knicks, the Queen, Sim, for giving me the opportunity, bringing me on that show. I really appreciate it. I just
That
want to
was a
shout
dope
them out.
show. That was a dope show. I feel
Genuine.
like more people
Yeah,
need to
I'm
see that
still
one.
talking about it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes shows go up and they get overlooked, and then it'll go up. As we
yeah,
keep working, that's how I look at shows that don't do well right away. As we keep doing stuff like this and showing people how we really are genuinely, it's
yeah,
gonna go up.
yeah, definitely.
It's easy.
Well, let me give you the other story. I
Hmm.
work for the city too, man. So I'm out in the field
Hmm.
doing my shit, whatever. So me and my guys together, we trying to, we working, but we stopped to get some food real quick. Ran into the thing, so I hear somebody, yo, like that. I'm looking like, okay, but we just in New York City, we in the hood, whatever. So I'm just minding
Hmm.
my business, whatever. So the guy comes over, because I went to the store, came out real quick, and I was going back to the store. And then he goes, like, yo, man, yo, papa. And then he was like, yo, the Knicks is blah, blah, blah. He just, the same thing. He just started going
Same
crazy
thing.
about the Knicks, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of like ignored him because, he's like a heroin addict, right? So I
Hmm.
ignored him,
Hmm.
whatever. He's like, yo, man, I know who you are, like that. I know who you are, like that. And then he was like, oh, Diehard Knicks, I know who you
Fire.
are. I was like, oh, shit. So even like the freaking heroin addicts, are
Hmm.
like tuned in if they Knicks fans and they watching or listening, whatever that they do. So
Hmm.
it's interesting, man. It's
No, you
very
know what it is,
interesting thing.
Eru? It's motivation, bro. Because
Yeah,
they don't know that we don't make we not making money like a lot of hosts. We not making money. So we doing this from passionate, from loving the game, from from people saying, "Yo, I know you," or "That's
Yeah.
what we do this for, bro." Like, so it's
Yeah.
dope, man. Like them stories is fire, and we just got to keep working, man. Shout out to the
Even
chat.
once you get monetized and stuff like that, I've been
Hmm.
monetized for a while. It's still once you see the money, you're like, what? After
Yeah.
all of this, sometimes like you anticipate is, oh shit, about to be monetized. Then once you get
Hmm.
monetized, then you're like, all right, well, I just keep on keep doing what I'm doing because this is definitely not the reason why I'm doing it. So that little bit of money
Mm,
that you do get, it's not like that's the reason why I'm going hard to do it. It's
for it.
still the passion, the
Hmm.
core passion of why you love the Knicks and the community and why you like to make these connections and things like that. This is the
Hmm.
reason why we're doing it. So that puts things into perspective as well. So
Nah, yeah. People going. You never know who's going to see you. You never know what opportunity going to come knocking. They got all these networks now, Revolt, and it's a lot of people using this lane now. And I
mhm.
think to be monetized, you got your feet on the ground, and as you keep building, you're only going to get bigger. And I
Yeah,
think what happens is the more the realer you are, it starts to separate you more and more the bigger you get. Because
right,
it's like a certain threshold you got to get to for them to really put you in that class. But once you start to get up there, they already know because you're not saying nothing that's not like catered to nobody. You know what I
right.
mean? You saying what you really feel. And once you get past that whole subscriber thing and all that, then it's just out the window now. Now it's just like, nah, look at all the people following him. Nah, look, that's why people running up on you saying, yo, because they know. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, I see
telling
the
you, this shit
guys,
turns into
scratching his neck
something.
and stuff.
It
Yeah,
turns into something. I'm telling
yeah,
you. So can I ask you a question? What do you
sure.
think about the RJ situation?
Well, I've been telling, I've been saying this a lot, especially lately, is that I don't have no ties to no player. I just love the
Hmm.
Knicks. I love the Knicks
Hmm.
so much. The community talking, that's what I like most about it. But like him being signed, for me, like when I first saw it, I was one of those guys that like, oh, we should wait on it, that type of thing. I don't care if they trade him, that type of thing. But once he got signed, you get the feeling. I got like a feeling, whatever. It was like a weight off your shoulders kind of thing. So now we don't have to worry about him no more. So now I know we got a peg.
Hmm.
RJ's a peg now. Julius Randle, for those that don't like him, whatever, we still got a peg. Julius,
Hmm. Facts.
Brunson, all that stuff. We got pegs now. So now I
Hmm.
could look at it in such a way where, okay, look, I can see what's happening now. And now I can kind of see where we can do. Donovan Mitchell's still on the board and this, that, and the other, but right now I
Hmm.
can see what we're doing. And like
Hmm.
I don't have to be thirsty for a Donovan Mitchell thing. I don't have to be
Hmm.
thirsty for none of this stuff. Right now I could just see the situation and I could let it play out. I don't know if that's due to like we're talking about experience. I call you a Renaissance man. The stuff that you've been
Hmm.
through, it gives you a certain clarity with things. So I'm just thinking about it like that. So just I'm in a
Yeah.
space now where I'm just like, it's just like I'm ready. I'm ready for the next joint now. That's how I
Hmm.
feel about it.
No, I know. I feel you. I respect that. Dope
Yeah,
take. Me too. I'm happy. I think, like I said earlier, it's a sign that they're going in the right direction again.
yeah,
Because when you look at how long from Charlie Ward, and I mean, you can't expect so much to happen so fast. But we do have Brunson, and they did sign RJ, so that is something happening. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I don't remember the last time I've been so excited about even the Knicks. Is they gonna get Donovan Mitchell? You know what I mean? Like that's just exciting news. Knowing we could get him. You know what I mean? Know
right,
that we're in the sweepstakes, knowing that we have the best chance. But I don't know, how that's gonna play out for Leon Rose and them. If we don't do too well this next up and coming season. You know what I
right,
mean? Because um we New York. And I think the problem is, we got to bring in somebody with more talent than like RJ because RJ needs to play next to somebody with talent so he can learn faster. And that's my whole thing. Now, is he going to be better with Brunson? Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
And if we don't get Donovan, I think we are going to be a better team. So we do kind of got to be thankful that we are better.
yeah,
We got to start with that. But I do believe that if we bring Donovan and we able to keep RJ, then now we really gonna be competing. And I think the key part to this take is the faster you can start competing, the better.
yeah,
Because with us, we're not going in the draft really. You see what they're doing, and they don't plan on switching their style up. They're not going in the draft. They traded out the draft to get the picks. to go and make a move like this. Even if they want to wait, the next time it come available, they're gonna make a move like this. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
They feel like they want a player that already showing superstar potential because he's a perennial all-star already. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what they rather go with, because I think them going in the draft and what they've been getting out the draft hasn't been showing that much talent. And they don't want to take that gamble, kind of. So I think it's not really only about the gamble part. I think the main part is um they always trying to fight like they're gonna make a play in or make a seed. When you see other teams are playing, they bench more so they can have draft positioning and stuff like that. Knicks don't do that.
Yeah.
So let's not act like they're gonna ever do that. So even if the draft start to have players where you could say we could get something at like a uh eighth or ninth pick, then maybe they should still draft somebody in the draft like that. You know what I mean? Because we always around ninth to 11th to 13, depending on what we do. But
Yeah.
this coming up draft, it's gonna be some talent in there where a player could fall to that. And as far as a lot of players that they kind of saying we need to keep and they're gonna be this, they're gonna be that. I don't know about that because they're gonna need to get paid too. And the way the money is looking, they got to make a decision on some of these guys. So that's part of
Yeah.
my take on besides RJ and with Spider. If we don't get Spider, then keep those guys and see what those guys pan out to be. I don't disagree
Yeah.
with that. You know what I mean? But with Spider there, it don't make like those guys gotta
Yeah. You got to make
Fournier,
that
Obi.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I throw this at you. You was talking about like greatest Knicks and stuff like that.
Hmm.
The era of Ewing, right? Ewing had
Hmm.
progression too, but I want to talk about the bomb squad when Rick Pitino was there. When Rick Pitino got there, they had the Ewing. They drafted Gerald Wilkins and stuff like that. And then I think that era, they started to really try to put that championship era together. Because
Hmm.
that squad was fun. It was fun to watch that. Even like after that, they got X-Man and stuff, but we didn't get to that championship until we
Hmm.
made those certain other trades. John Starks became the second guy. We traded for Charles Smith, Derek Harper, and that type of thing. But in order
Hmm.
to get to there, like you have to be here. You have to be somewhere over here. So right
Hmm.
now, I think right now we at the bomb squad stage where the Knicks are putting together like a team that could win. But
Hmm.
this team that we see here is not necessarily the end game team. But you still have to be the bomb squad for like a season or two, before
Hmm.
you can get to the Pat Riley, going against the Houston
Hmm.
Rockets team type of thing, and then
Facts.
like as a winning organization, match that '94 team to the '99 team. Two totally different rosters, so much movement. You still have to have, you still got to be good, and still have to be flexible to give yourself the opportunity to get to that next stage. You know what I'm trying to say? So
No,
I
I agree.
yeah,
I
so I
agree.
think the Knicks are on that path there, man. So it's
Hmm.
like that's why I get uptight about certain guys. They're so hardcore about, oh, RJ's the greatest player to be ever had, the youngest player. Yeah, you're going crazy, fam, because you need
Hmm.
to like you kind of need to listen a little bit because this has happened before. This has happened before. Like
Yeah.
you have to like kind of like put those type of things in perspective. So that's why I view the game the way like this, the way I view the Knicks, because I've
Hmm.
seen it before. Now I can kind of see now, like this team, the way that it is, I can see that we can forward move. We can, we can keep it moving. Certain
Hmm.
guys might disappear and something might grow back, whatever, but we still doing that. So I think we on that projection to get to where we really want to go, and that's to win some shit.
Yeah. Well, what I think about that is now that they got Brunson, right? That's a big piece to doing that. And let's see how we look this year.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't really know if that fourth seed was going to be sustainable because how the East was coming back stronger the next year and all the stuff that you had to factor in.
yeah,
Um, this season with Brunson though, and I think now that Tibbs got to change it up, he can't do the same thing that he did. I think a lot of stuff, my opinion, was a lot on Tibbs. And if
yeah,
you look at how it played out, he copped out to a lot of things and said he did this wrong, he did that wrong, because that's what happens when you a coach and you take a chance trying to do something and it don't work, and you could have worked on these guys more. You know what I
right,
mean? And now you're gonna need these guys this season. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's the key. That's the key problem. But one thing that you said that stuck with me was um sustaining, right? And what I always say is we have to sustain a playoff run, even just consistently making the playoffs,
Right.
whether if it's getting knocked out of the first round, consistently sustaining a playoff run, right? And as we do that, like you said, they'll be able to figure out who needs to go. We know who's staying now because we got these main pillars. Now, is RJ always gonna be there? They saying, oh, he still could move because of Donovan Mitchell. Now, I don't think so. I think RJ is here to stay because they paid him the way and they drafted him and such. I want to say, you said you with whoever's with you with the Knicks,
Yeah.
not the players. You just with the Knicks.
Yeah.
If they was to move RJ in that situation, getting Donovan Mitchell right now, and I love RJ, I wouldn't go crazy about it.
Right.
I would not go crazy about it because I want to see them play together. But it's not going to be enough basketball for RJ really with all three of them guys, realistically. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm not going to go crazy about that if that was to happen. At the same time, if it don't happen, I'm going to have the same energy. I have
Yeah.
to because I was upset that Leon Rose didn't move fast enough and do what he had to do to get Spider because of the fact of how long it's been that we haven't had a superstar. When I did the show yesterday and I asked them, um, did the Knicks ever have a superstar? And all they kept talking about was Patrick Ewing. To me, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. They can't say nobody else, bro. So my thing is, when you in that situation, and I'm Leon Rose, I inherited all those problems, right? So
Right.
my job is to bring somebody on that caliber because the Knicks organization has been doing good all throughout this process. So you can't say the fans don't deserve a player at that caliber and he's still young. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? And he's going to be box office in the Garden. So the main point is that you're supposed to spend a little bit more when you want something. Not saying get jerked. And another thing I want to be clear about, because I was giving Leon Rose takes, making fun about it. Now that everything is coming out, I feel like he's handling it right. Because if nobody else can make the deal and Danny wanted all them picks and he didn't give them, that's the best way to handle it. Now, if he come to a better agreement and you know you could throw in one more pick and get the deal done, then get the deal done because of how long we've been out this caliber player. That's my main point.
Yeah.
If it's too crazy, then keep doing what you're doing. Just remember, he's making his bed and he gonna lay in it. If
Right.
you don't get him and they don't win, they're gonna ask, did Leon Rose, you know what I'm saying? Did he do a great job? Did we need Donovan? That's all gonna come out. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Those articles are already written already. They already wrote them
there you
shits. You
go.
know what I'm saying? Or they just ready to slide it over and send it to the editor, and there you go. You know, it's already written already. You know. Well,
Facts.
like one thing to add to that, you know, what you're
Mhm,
saying, we both saying the same thing, which is great. You know, when we get to talk it out and stuff.
mhm,
Like my thing is make it make sense. You know, so if we do, let's say we trade RJ in this deal some kind of way, and but it has to make sense. We can't trade RJ and Cam Reddish, for instance. You know, and we can't
mhm.
like
No way.
Quentin Grimes can't be in that deal either. You know, it's like come on, man. Like it has to make sense. If RJ is gone, then Cam has to be the guy then. You know, he has to be at least on the roster
Mhm,
that we can say that he might be the guy that's going to pull into that three spot. You know, with Donovan Mitchell at the
mhm,
two, then you got Brunson and stuff. Now you still have something that I can do this. I can still do this
mhm.
now. Don't chop 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 where we are like, oh shit, I need some, I need to like get a transfusion now. I need
And we stuck.
wholesale shit to happen. At least keep it where we can still do this. You know,
Mhm,
that's all I'm at. I'm with it
mhm.
with that.
But let me ask you a question. When we
Yeah,
stockpiling picks, though, this is a question too. If we stockpiling picks
yeah,
and we not taking players out the draft, and I hear people say we should have got Doran and different things, right?
yeah.
What if that kid come out and ball out and we don't get Donovan Mitchell? Why do we move out of the draft? Like, why do we like when things play out, right? We have a right to ask why do we make that move? Especially
Right.
like things like why do we use a pick to get rid of Kimber Walker? Right? It's little things you could look at. You know what I'm saying? To keep saying, but then now we got all these picks and we can make a move to get Spider, right? But we're not using the picks in the draft the way the fans think they should. You get what I'm saying? Like They're
Right.
not moving down in the draft. They're not taking those type of chances. So the chance that y'all been waiting for have arrived. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Probably arrived before they thought
Yeah.
it was. But at the same time, this is what you've been stacking your bread for. Not saying
Right.
get ripped off, but now that it's coming to a better deal, spend a little extra because you know why you spending it. It's because how long we've been without a superstar. If they could
Right.
only fight for Patrick Ewing, to me, that's a big problem.
That's 37 years ago.
Then they, yeah, then they said Carmelo. We didn't draft Melo. So when I be like, what you think Donovan Mitchell gonna be? We ain't draft him. He gonna be a superstar. We gonna claim him. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Come on, man, make it make sense. When I pulled up all that Knicks list, none of them are superstars, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm going before my time. If you want to fight for Frazier and them, fine. I'm not talking about them, y'all. So if the OGs is here, don't kill me. I'm not talking about them. Y'all can
Yeah.
fight for them and say they deserve it, whatever, whatever. Some people said Patrick D. Ewing deserved a statue. My uncle texted my phone 8 o'clock this morning, and I don't even know he watched the show. He said, Patrick Ewing deserve a statue. I'm like, yo, what the?
I
I'm
don't know.
like, yo, that's crazy. Yo, bro. But,
That all that
it's the
stuff,
Knicks
man.
talk, man. We're going to agree to disagree and have fun with it. But
Yeah.
why we don't have that's my point, Eru. And I hope you with me on that. If we don't, and you didn't agree that we shouldn't spend this much on something, recalculate that and think about this, bro. We haven't had a nice car in 30 years. I'm just saying, bro, like we need somebody to really put on in the garden. We haven't had it, man. We haven't
Yeah.
we haven't had it, man. And that's how I look at it.
Let me throw this at you. There's people out there right now
Mhm.
that are late on their rent, or they can't pay their child support and stuff like that, but they're out there driving, like the newest joint or whatever, or they got like $500 sneakers and stuff like that. And these are the people that are arguing with us on Twitter and arguing with us in the chat and stuff like that, talking about, oh, we need to wait for
Mm.
this and this and the other. Like, come on, man, you don't got your joints together. You didn't get to
Nah, I'm glad you
whatever
said
level,
that.
but you're gonna argue with me about the basketball and
Yeah.
stuff and try to belittle me over takes and stuff. That's just weird stuff too, man. So, but I mean, like you said, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the key word too, fun. Because a lot of times, like, say I could be popping off, and Steve would be like, "Yeah, bro, but XYZ," and I just be like, I look at the screen, and I just gotta laugh, because it's like I'm going crazy over this one thing. The one little thing that he said, I could have got
Mhm.
mad or whatever. He could have got mad at me, but it's just like, it just bring you back to reality. This is all fun, and that's the only thing, that's really it for
Yeah.
me.
Conversation, man. And then we talking
Yeah.
Knicks. And then it's like, you get a lot out of it. You know what I'm saying? You got a following. People know who you are. You got a show. So you work in your name. You know what I'm saying? And then you networking with the Knicks community, a large community. A
Yeah.
lot of people who do know sports. So that's what I like about it. A lot of people do know sports. And I think the key thing is short swords sharpen swords. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when we go back and forth all the time with the chat, with co-hosts, this is what make us sharp. This
Yeah.
is what make me work hard at what I'm doing. And when you said you don't really listen, I wanted to tell you that the reason why I listen is so I could see how good people are, and I hopefully that could give you um another idea or just to change your mind on not listening, right? And listen because you dope enough to create your own content regardless.
Right.
Because Nick community, sometimes people talk about the same thing by mistake. It's not on purpose. Nobody's stealing. Like that's you know what I mean. We too dope for
Yeah.
that. So it's like
Yeah.
um I listen to see who I like, who's dope, um, see who argue like me. I listen to people to see what their opinion is. Even if I feel the same way, we're not gonna always look at it exactly the same. So, it's always gonna be something I get from when I'm watching somebody else's show. And I think I like the content so much, just like people who don't be on panels that be in the chats. They just
Yeah.
want to converse back and forth about the Nick content to sharpen up their knowledge as well. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm doing when I'm listening, especially like when I listen to you or Freezy or Sim. I could just have it in my ear because
Yeah.
music ain't all that to me unless I'm listening to like a Lloyd Banks album or something that's really hot right now. But besides that, I got the Knicks in my ear, man.
Yeah. Science. That you got the science in your ear. I get it.
Exactly. That's what makes me better because I'm hearing it from all angles. Who's wrong? Who's right? All that.
Yeah. But just for me, man, just how my brain works is just that the clutter. Sometimes I stress myself out a little bit with things. So
Hmm.
if I don't do that, then I can be clear on stuff. So like this song concept. I think we were talking or whatever, and then as we were talking, I didn't respond right away because this came into my mind. You know what I'm saying? This
That's
whole
dope.
concept came into my mind, went crazy. It says, "Oh shit," and then I just started to brainstorm this thing. That's just the way my mind works. I can't do it.
That's dope.
I can't like it just bars my head with too much because you can see how I do the pause. I be doing it by myself. I'm just popping
Yeah.
off by myself. So you could just imagine the shit that's going on in my freaking head at any given time. So that's that's
Hmm.
that's that's how I work. That's just how my brain works.
Now you're doing good. You're doing good, man. Like you just did a show earlier. You came right back on. People checking for you.
Yeah,
Um, that's what's dope about it. Like you said, we don't know. We just working. We doing our hard. We working our hardest
yeah,
for creating content. And like at the end of the day, it's nothing personal if we don't agree. It's like you said, a barbershop or where you come and you may saying something and you could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But somebody gonna be there to tell you. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a Nick
yeah,
family. It's a community. So I enjoy it, man. Like I said, yo, we gonna do something, and I want to bring you on our show.
yeah. No
Um,
doubt.
I'm gonna be in New York. I'm gonna get up with you. I put my number in there, so I want you to text me.
Okay.
So once we link up, what I mean, we're gonna do a show. I'm gonna let you know what day works for you. We'll figure it out. And
Well,
that's
right now
about it, bro. We
I
got
broke my toe, man. I broke my pinky toe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm free
ah
until October 4th, bro. I
oh
can't do shit.
wow. All right, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
make some stuff happen then, man. Yeah, we could do a couple shows, man.
yeah,
Cross
definitely.
advertise this thing, man.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
Like before
and I
before the
got a
season
couple
start.
ball players. Got a
Yeah.
couple ball players I could pass your way too. Like I
Okay.
told you, my nephew, he going to UConn. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? His boy going to Indiana. So they names to get some clicks. So once we interview them, I'm gonna pass them off. I'm gonna let you interview them. So people definitely be checking for them because then we get some of the younger generation onto your show and just keep
Yeah.
growing, man. I appreciate what you doing. Like you a real one, bro. Like what I'm saying.
I
Even
appreciate
invite
it, man.
me on how I met you. You know what I'm saying. Like you're a real one. And I'm gonna
Well,
get
yeah,
your
look,
information. I'm gonna send you some of my Hardwill gear. It's
I
for the
appreciate
training
it, man.
company though. I don't have it for it ain't for my name. It ain't it's just happened to be my name is that, but I broke down to you what Hardwell is. Some of
Yeah.
the shirts say basketball training, so you'll see.
Okay. Well, listen, man. I got to tell you, I think we might have crossed paths before because if he was working in Plaza, and during that time you're talking about, we definitely crossed paths or something like that. So I think
You look familiar, bro.
yeah, I'm telling you, you look familiar to me too. Like I can hear your voice, or whatever. We probably know the same
Hmm.
people, that type of thing.
Hmm.
But I just gotta say the same thing. Like I said to Ralph a little earlier. To the other guy a little earlier. There's something weird about this thing. There's an energy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that energy that everybody's going for. It's almost like Transformers and shit. They're always going for the sphere of life and shit like that. I feel like we all connected to that shit. Through our experience, through our mindset, the way they would,
Hmm.
just I'm big on words too, and energies and stuff like that. Stuff that you project, that comes back to you, or whatever. So I
Me
mean, like
too. The
you're putting out,
secret. The secret.
yeah, man. That shit is real. A lot of people are not really in tune to that. But like you speak your truth, whatever. I speak my truth, and somehow things find a way to connect people. It's
Hmm.
amazing. It's amazing, man. Synchronicity, yeah,
Hmm.
man. Somebody just put that in the chat.
Yeah, and the secret too. It's like speaking things into existence. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I do that too. It's just like how I got into the podcast or how I got in. I said I wanted to do it. I always used to say it, and then one thing led to another. And then there you have it. And I
yeah,
think
man.
it's the drive, like he said, like the transformer in us, the
Yeah,
drive, the Nick community, um, on and on content. And then when you know how to have a conversation, and shout out Uncle Freezy too, Sim, all of them. All y'all do it. We can have a conversation about the Knicks and then jump into something else real quick just to keep everybody entertained because a story is a story.
right.
Knicks conversation is all day. That's what the Knicks is about. That's what I mean. That's what the show is about. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta be able to entertain the people, and the chat is always dope too. So that's another thing, man. Like without the fans and the community, we don't have this. So, like I say, shout out to the chat, but at the same time, we put the content to bring the chat in one room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we could come and talk about what y'all want to talk about, and it's not easy getting the shows, constantly doing the shows. So, you know, we all gonna keep wanting to do it, from y'all motivating us, people in the street running up on us, whatever, bro. Like it's all for one good cause.
Yeah, definitely, man. So that's it. I know you said you got a show at 8:30, man. So we could end it here, but I mean end the show here. But like I said,
Mhm.
the connection is there. So the tagline, "Die Hard has a friend." Is that what this is, or is this like one of those things where people call like, hey, we're friends, that type of thing? Is that what this is? Die Hard has a friend. Does that
I,
resonate?
I mean, I think from the same cloth. So you got a friend with me, bro. You got a friend with me, and I'm an
Yeah,
OG now, man. Like
yeah,
I could disagree with you today and be your friend tomorrow.
yeah,
Now, if we become close friends, that's up to how, however we, you know what I mean, how we rock. Like how you asked me about how Jay Boogie and people that I just met, we got close. Cause
yeah,
some people, you know, like music, like to, get money, run businesses. So great
yeah,
minds think alike. You know what I'm
yeah, man.
saying?
Yeah, man. So I fuck with you, man. Definitely, man. So
Same here. I'm
yeah,
definitely a friend, and we gonna have you on our show. And like I said, I'm gonna send you some gear, and I appreciate you, man.
yeah, no,
Definitely,
no doubt, no doubt, man.
definitely a friend.
So shout out to Worldwide L. You guys about to get busy over there. So everybody, please let me pop it on real quick. Please go to 4 Hour the Love of the Game, man. Check them out. Right now they at the time here 4:57. Let's see if anything changed with that. Because that's what it's all about. Hopefully somebody subscribe. Waiting for the
Mm-hmm.
number to change.
Exactly.
4:57.
Change
Bam!
that
You got
number.
one follower. There you go.
There you go. And that's crazy because, like, yo,
Yeah,
I just be wanting to do shows. I don't get caught up in it all. I remember one day
yeah,
somebody was telling me, yo, you ain't nothing like Uncle Freezy. Or he said
right,
something like, you get half the views he get to me. I was like,
right.
all right, bro, that's cool, bro. That don't hurt my feelings, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand, bro. It's cool. But now me and the dude is cool now. Like, he shout me out in the chat. I shout him out. So it's like when you doing good, you don't got no time to really be worried about negativity, bro. Like
yeah,
I be off of it. Like I be more on my positive. Like you said, that energy, the secret positive energy. Stop putting negative energy out there. If you are, that's why you're not really accomplishing your goals. Put
right,
positive energy out there. Think positive, and then see your goals start to come right in front of you. Think them
right.
into existence. You want that nice car. You want that business. You want your podcast. You want your clothing line. Think it into existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, one more
It'll
thing
come.
before you go to
Sure.
just like me and Ralph, like it could go on for another 4 hours. Me and you talking about shit, but
Facts.
yeah, I told you I had a broken foot, right? So some people are
Hmm.
like, "Oh my god, I broke a foot. What am I gonna do?" So the stress is gonna take them away from what the secret was. So my thing is like, I broke my foot. Okay, cool. My thing is I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go. So I've been saying that. So the energy did this to me, broke my foot, and I want to do
Mm,
podcasts. So now I got time to do it. This thing
do it.
came to mind or whatever, and like a time right now where I wouldn't normally be able to do it. Now I'm able to get these thoughts and these things and the stuff
Wow.
that I love to do. I can get it out now. So
Hmm.
positive. I asked for it. I asked
Hmm.
for it, and I got what I asked for.
Well, you got my number too. So if
Yeah,
you want to call me, like it just be like chop it up on content, because that's dope too. When
yeah,
people just chop it up on show topics, or we both gonna have different topics anyway that at that day. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Or that week. So you got my number. So that's what it's about though, man. Because one creative mind makes another mind more creative.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And then it's just like when I work with my nephew, like creating thumbnails or whatever. Me and him together makes it come together. Like
right,
how me and Worldwide L, even though Heck was really dope with us too, because he kind of rounded us. You know what I mean? He was that more professional one. You know what I'm saying? Like when we
right.
argue, when he's sitting there like, well, like you know what I'm saying? So, but you know what it is, bro. Like, so it's just making us better either way. So shout out to the chat.
Yeah,
Um, Parish Duggar, Core Mega, all of y'all that be in our show. Salute to y'all. Thanks for listening to me and Eru. Had this great conversation.
yeah,
Um, and y'all already know what it is, man. Word.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Thank you guys again. Once again, Evil out, Hardwill out. See you guys next time. Oh, yo,
Peace.
go to the other channel, man. They about to
Yeah,
go
pull
live at
up.
8
We
eight
about to
thirty.
go
Pull up
live.
to
Pull up.
it.
Pull up. Talk
Yeah,
RJ, open panel.
no doubt, no
Peace,
doubt.
though, y'all.
Yeah, peace, man.
All right.